I'm supporting some projects which, as an example, teach people in their teenage years how to use smartphones to make money remotely. So if you look at parts of Europe, there are ample parts of Europe where people still leave their hometown, their home country, in pursuit of better opportunities. And this is valid, this makes sense, but there's an alternative. And the alternative is for them to pursue remote work opportunities anywhere on the planet, by just applying their basic English and social media competence. So yes, some of them will still leave, fantastic, but I believe in giving them kind of a remote driver's license so that they can drive across the internet remotely and actually are able to generate value and get paid for it. So that's something which is changing the landscape for a few countries. If you do this with a few thousand young people, that becomes viral.
Now, maybe it's too broad. If it is, it is. But can you name any of the types of work people are doing from their phone?
Sure. There are virtual assistants, as an example. As simple as that. So you can be an assistant for somebody, and if he says, I'm traveling to this city, can you please do some research for me? I would love to meet people from the following business sectors. What we normally would have delegated to executive assistants or secretaries, etc. So instead of having a secretary who's sitting next to you, you can sign up people who do the work, who are often by far more familiar with using the internet to do proper research or contact people. And they can do it in a, I think, fraction of the time and often to very competitive terms, or for very competitive terms. It's as simple as that. So this is one thing, but you can do, I think there are very few things you cannot do remotely. This is what we learned last year. Even in the health sector, Stanford Hospital in California, I think were able to treat nearly 80% of their patients remotely, but just consultations happening remotely. Really time effective.
Very interesting. And definitely better than looking up your symptoms on WebMD and self-diagnosing.
No doubt, but and the doctors loved it too because it is really efficient. It's well documented. But I'm more interested in empowering people in their teenage years and realizing, by the way, the opportunities are out there and you can do it remotely. And if you start with that, then you are free to do it anywhere. Yeah, so you can stay where you are or you can move out. This is your choice. But you're not anymore depending on the local education model, et cetera, et cetera. We had a revolution in the last 15 years when it comes to university education, coming out of places like Stanford University. There was a guy called Sebastian Thun, actually of German descent, who left and started a company called Udacity. And so this provided online education around the world in English. And they had amazing pickup rates logically from people across the world who wanted to have excellent education. Yeah, and it was not anymore depending on the fact of how do you get into Stanford, or how you even able to get a visa or afford the student expenses of Stanford. No, you could take like the Stanford experience anywhere.
Very interesting. I'm a big fan of Fiverr and use it. You ever use this? Mm-hmm. I had a file, a recording of something that I needed to hear, and it had a lot of background noise and very echoey. And I'd gotten the file after dinner, and I really wanted to use it in the morning. And I jumped on Fiverr, and I looked up audio editing or cleaning or something like that, and found a fellow in Russia, sent him the file. I wake up in the morning, it's totally usable. Yep, $15. I'm sure he's happy because it probably took him 10 minutes. Right.
It doesn't matter, but it works for them. This is the same model which we always had with the guys from Cuba arriving in Miami. Yeah. So this model has always worked since the early days of civilization, or the early days of mankind. If you are paid in Miami, whatever it is, $10 or $15 per hour, and this is triple of what you make in Cuba, the people in Miami are happy, the people in Cuba of your family whom you can send some of the money are happy, and it works, and it boosts Cuba and it boosts Miami. So this has happened all over the world. We are now able to do it remotely, which is so much more powerful, and which sets people free.
This has been Jeff Stearns, Connected Through Cars.